Hello world and welcome to the next video. It was reported that under a lot of pressure, President Trump was forced to release the video condemning the Capitol siege. So you may have seen Trump's video where he was surprisingly professional in condemning the violence. A long, detailed message, thoughtful message, totally out of character. So one way or another, the pressure is forcing him to make this statement, as well as the Republicans around him. So this video was made public after the president was impeached for a second time by the House of Representatives. Now you may remember right after the Capitol riot, President Trump had a video stating that he loved the rioters and that they were special. So since President Trump is banned from Twitter, this video was released on the White House Twitter account. The video didn't mention anything about claiming that he's been lying all along about election integrity, but rather it was just a broad condemnation of violence of any kind. Now, because of the lead up to the Capitol insurrection and the events of the day and the aftermath, President Trump's political future is dramatically in question, as it should be. Originally, people were thinking that he would be able to leave office and eventually run again, which, should he not be convicted of impeachment, he may still be able to do. But recent events have resulted in a dramatic fallout further from the Republican Party mainstream. Now, I'm not talking about the voters, I'm talking about the elected officials. They continue to run from Trump. Not a majority of them running from Trump, but more and more are breaking off from him and distancing themselves. So apparently Jared Kushner, VP Mike Pence, and others likely pressured him to make this 5-minute video condemning the violence. And so New York Times is saying that he really still needed reassurances that this video was the correct thing to do. So they're saying that he really had his doubts and truly didn't want to actually post this response. So the pressure from those around him, as well as the pressure of the second impeachment and possible conviction, really pushed him to this point. The Trump org is facing cancellations in New York for some of their contracts. Mitch McConnell indicated he might consider voting to convict in the impeachment. And so in politics, when all of this stuff piles up, you do get pushed into a corner. And you may say things that you don't even mean to try to save yourself and your reputation somehow, to salvage it. In general, President Trump continues to not acknowledge President-elect Biden. He doesn't talk much about the inauguration, and he hardly has conceded the election, aside from one time when he said that there would be a new administration. And he did denounce the restrictions of free speech based on the many bannings on social media of those involved in inciting this event and encouraging it through lies. Now, there's a whole free speech debate that has to be had. And obviously, President Trump is very mad at Mitch McConnell, as well as Kevin McCarthy, the House Minority Leader. And it is reported that Trump is going to stiff Rudy Giuliani of many of his legal fees because he was offended by Giuliani's request for $20,000 a day to represent him in the election fight. And they also some of his advisors discussed with him maybe he should resign to retain the ability to run again in the future, because should an impeachment result in conviction, likely those opportunities would close off completely. And the president continues to talk about pardoning himself, despite the legal dubiousness of such a thing. Rudy is also facing responsibility for inciting the mob, and other assistants who worked with him have sent him a letter saying that his statement about trial by combat was completely out of line. It was jarring and totally disheartening, and he was pressured to unequivocally repudiate and denounce what he said. They were requesting that Rudy tell President Trump's supporters to stand down. So the variety of public pressure, outrage, and pressure from businesses has resulted in a clear denouncement of the violence, despite the fact that it may in fact not be genuine, or rather in spite of the fact that it may not be genuine. Thanks for listening, and if you enjoy my commentary, please like this video, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.